this is not cracked, it's just reflection of the turning pins for guitar. But yeah, so going to work on the wrap top yet again. Probably should put this up on social medias other than the Twitch and YouTube only. So let me just do that. Well done. And then also activate the avatars. Do the end. Okay, so looks like socials are up and mouse is going to be needed when I switch to just music mode. But yeah, I'm at the point where I just do the same design back and forth for 30 rows, basically. Like 30 back and forths. So that was the last increase. This is going here. I'm just gonna come on. Stop being all splitty. Okay. So now it's just going to be 30 back and forth rows for the center back area of this wrap top. And I think that's what I'm going to be doing tonight, craft-wise. But I'm gonna turn on the music, turn off the mic. Well, I'm gonna bring up the music, turn off the mic, and let you guys hang out. If you want to listen to music, music's available. You want to chat, chat's available. Want to ask questions? I can always turn the mic back on for you. So let me do the body doubling thing for anyone who wants to have someone to work alongside in this kind of chaotic world we've got. So sometimes you need someone that you see working on something as a kind of accountability type thing, or just, you know, it's comforting, especially if it's a creative art I've found. So yeah, just time to just, I guess, craft and chill. currently trying to make this chaotic jumble of the last of a skein of yarn into a ball of yarn, or at least a cake of yarn that I can work with without it knotting up. So, doing that slightly off screen here. So, how's your day been? So, how, oh yeah, music. So, how's your day been? It's been okay. Fairly chill day. I have progress on the I have some sprouts already on my microgreens. I have 3 containers that I have microgreens in that I am going to be making more into macrogreens. I have some regular plants that over here, this is onions that I actually onions that I harvested the seeds. And then we've got some thyme in the center, and then over here is some grapefruit that, if I get it to grow, will become some grafts for a plant, like a fruit plant. And then here I've got some chamomile that I started as seeds, and yeah, it's doing pretty well. That I started like a couple months ago. But the rest of this has been since we last spoke, and I was saying that I was starting seeds. Chamomile? Yeah, it's very calming. I planned to use it as part of a tea garden. However, it's too hot to plant anything. So, like outside. So, doing all of this inside. Unfortunately, can't have tofu. Like, for me, I can't have tofu. And if you can, good. I absolutely love it. I wish you the best tofu ever. Chamomile, not camel meal. Chamomile. Well, let me see. Yeah, tofu is great. That's okay. So, how are the littles of hoppy and furry variety? And have you any more, like, guardians of your home? Oh, good. Awesome. Has the owl still been hanging about? Cool. It'll probably be back when it's a little bit more chill in the air. If you do, be careful, because they're not domesticated. I don't think they will tell you if they've seen their shadows anytime soon. You could probably, like, put a water bowl out for them. They'd appreciate. Yeah. Yeah, that would probably be great for them. Make their lives a little bit easier, and you get the benefit of more animal friends for your Disney Princess army. I can imagine you, like, one day. Yeah. They'd totally be fine with that, most likely. So, that would be very kind of you for them. I just keep imagining one day you're going to start singing, like, the opening to Immigrant Song, and you'll have an entire army of woodland creatures rise up in revolt against someone. Totally understand. Work's been a bit slow as well for me, but also have been doing things outside because we kind of need to get things set up just in case hurricanes decide to form right off the coast, like the... Oh, good! That's great. Awesome. It's great to know. I am so glad you were able to get that worked out. I'm trying to get up to the $70 to withdraw. Yeah. Yep. But, I'm getting there. Same. We'll both get there and have hopefully really good experiences so that we can both be like blogging about, okay, so yeah, here is proof of payout. Here is this particular company. This is my affiliate. This is my friend's affiliate. This is the non-affiliate link. So just in case you want to try it, type of thing. That'd be great. Because, yeah. Hey. If it means a little bit more passive income for either of us, awesome. Yes. And I know a lot of people who choose not to use the affiliate links, and I am totally fine with that because some places it feels a bit scammy, so. But yeah, totally doing that. I am trying to get, hold on, adjusting. Sometimes it's kneeling, sometimes it's sitting, sometimes it's standing. Back just is like, nope. Anyway, yeah, getting blog posts written up and waiting for stuff. That's okay. Prolific is still doing like the waitlist stuff. I think a few people who sort of signed up the year before I did are still on the wait list, so they're going through the wait list slowly, but they are going through it. They're still, yeah. So it's one of those things that I check my email like once a month because otherwise it's going to just be like, will it or will it not? And it's less stress if you just, yeah. Someday. But there are the other things to do, and they do allow for being able to work other gigs, which is great. Yeah, and I have it on a tablet that I'm constantly using for other things, unfortunately. So I will focus on that at some point, but right now I have other ones that have time limit stuff that I'm doing on that tablet, unfortunately. Oh. What for? Ah, I see. Stream elements. Yep. And unfortunately, I can't have stream elements open at the same time as OBS if I'm using Restream. Because for some reason, it stops it from working. And it stops Restream from working, which means I don't have a way of streaming to either of the accounts, and so just, maybe one gets dropped. And yeah, it's weird. I mean, Bree doesn't have that problem, it's just my computer. And it's something that's been a thing for a while, so I'm going to have to see about figuring this out on a laptop, get that set up so that I can stream the craft stuff on that, the game stuff on the other, and maybe with the craft stuff I'll be able to adjust OBS's, not OBS, Streamlabs settings because it's something that should work but isn't, and I have no idea how to fix that. That should work better. The problem with accidentally hitting the webcam. Trying to adjust things. Okay. This means this needs to go there-ish. You could, nope, you're not good. Okay. Yep. And I need to the camera bag. Let's see if putting this on the end helps again. Stable? Nope, falling. Okay. That's... Okay. Yeah. My camera setup on this is a webcam on a, weirdly enough, one of those, what's it called? Selfie sticks. And that is through the microphone holder on a mic stand. So, weirdly enough, that works, and it's kind of cantilevered over the small desk that is comfortable for me to kneel at, or for me to stand at And the chair I have in my room is the least comfortable option because it's a bar stool, which means the height of the chair is at exactly the bottom of the drawer. So I end up like either just kneeing the drawer and the desk the entire time, or wanting to put my legs on the desk. So I just keep going between standing and kneeling. Unless I figure, you know, I could potentially get a good angle for anyone watching with being on the bar stool. Which is true, but right now I'm seeing that the fuzziness of the yarn is actually picked up decently, and I can still see the stitches. So I'd say kneeling with the camera at this height is working. But I just have to be careful not to hit the like camera or the mic stand or the selfie stick, because then it all comes down. For a bit I was using duct tape to keep the selfie stick in place. It just didn't stick well for some reason. So, yeah. The weight of the webcam cantilevering over the desk on a selfie stick probably just was not what the duct tape was prepared to deal with. Oh, sweet. By the way, what e-reader do you have? Is it like a Kobo or a Nook or a Kindle? Just curious. But, yeah. What a mess. Oh, cool. Yeah, I have a Kindle Paperwhite, the signature edition, so I could have, like, more built-in memory and, like, the wireless charging. But, I've been debating between, like, the Kobo and a Nook for a while as well, but had a gift card for Amazon. I was like, there was a deal for the signature edition. Figured might as well get that one instead. And the troubles of being right here. The air conditioner, like the vent is right above me, kind of. But with the way the air goes, any condensation ends up on me. Oh no! Okay, so yeah, then I would have to say for me, I'm not going to go Nook in the future. Thank you for the heads up. Yeah. So, Kindle. Let's see. Library. Yeah, I've got quite a large collection, so it's like I agree. I have the same issue. Not like for me it's my eyes get really tired easily with regular books, and I can adjust the lighting on the e-reader or on another device, so it's easier for me. Plus I can change the size and the font. It's like, it makes it really more accessible. Yes! Makes it amazing, like, as long as you have battery for very long road trips, and you end up able to read a different book a day or more, and it's great. Yeah, I get that. But if a lot of the things that I enjoy reading, a lot of stuff like comics, it's better on a color screen. So the Kindle doesn't quite translate properly, but I have an old iPad. I use that. So that works. And then if I need to make notes, I use GoodNotes, and am usually able to if I have a PDF. For me, bigger screen. Yeah. But I use GoodNotes if I have the PDF of whatever it is I'm reading. What phone do you have? Mine's the S22. My hand for scale. Like, mine's the S22 Ultra. So, my hand for scale, it's about the size of my hand. Let's see. architect scale. Let's see, this one has inches on this side. Okay, cool. Yeah, this, we're talking, in its case, 6.5 inches tall by in the case 3.25 wide. So yeah. Not really. I had a Note before, the Note 8, and really useful having the stylus on me because I take notes by hand a lot of the times, so that's useful. Plus, it has a few functions that make it useful for me. So, let's see. Cool thing is, I could have probably just been like, it's got quite a few inches on it. It's about 6 inches. But it's more of a, for me, I can use it for figuring out the gauge of something. Like how many stitches in 4 inches, how many rows in 4 inches, and then stretched 4 inches, so I've got an idea of that. I can pretty much use that for a lot of different things. It obviously I do some work on it. I use it for art sometimes. I use it for music, reading, if I absolutely have to, because the screen's not like too small for me. Basic functions. You have that as well if you have like a Samsung. That's just one of the things that they have. You know, the little light bar thing at the side? You just scroll over and then again, and it has like, usually I think it starts at compass. Then you can do tally counter, which I'm just using a cookie counter. Different app. You can turn on the flashlight. You have a surface level and ruler right there. I've put up shelves before. I've used that for various things. I've used it for measuring things for other people. I've basically, yeah, for me, phones aren't really like phones. I hardly ever use my phone as a phone. It's usually a calculator or a radio or a tally counter, a journal, an organizer. There are so many different things that you can use that your phone does. I have old phones that basically, I had a really cheap Motorola. I have a Motorola that, yeah. But, yeah, I have an older Motorola phone that is actually fairly recent, but it also has a stylus. The stylus that the Motorola has versus the one that the Samsung has. Samsung has more functionality, but cheap phone. Has a whole bunch of different really great functions on it. And I realized that this was after I had the Note 8. After that one, I got this one. This I got because it has stylus, and I'd had a previous Motorola phone that I liked because of certain functionalities it has, like when it's on, I can do that, and it turns on the flashlight. I do this camera, because it's like, depending on which way you shake it, it's either shaking like a flashlight, turns on the flashlight, turn on the flashlight, come on, seriously, or shaking it like a Polaroid picture, like you're getting ready for a Polaroid to develop, would just turn on the camera. It's stuff like that that I absolutely loved, but I was constantly using the stylus, so that basically told me I kind of need to have a stylus on a phone. But, because I take notes primarily by writing. Makes things a lot easier for me, and it means I actually get the notes down, because if I have to type them out, it's not gonna happen. It's also why I go with paper planners that are kind of cluttered. I've found ones that are very pristine and sterile, I do not write in. The ones that have either like insane stuff on the pages where it's like very cluttered, it's easy for me to write. Then there's also if the page is bright white, I'm not going to write on it. If the page is black and I have really colorful, fun pens that work on it, I will use it. I will write it on it. It was a lot of trial and error to figure this out. But, yeah. It's also why I've got a bunch of different planners that are only like a couple of pages have been filled in, and others that I've got almost all of the pages filled in with notes, with drawings. Yeah. Took a while to narrow down what my actual needs were when I was using those particular ones, and then switching to other ones to see what worked when what had been working stopped working for me. I at least have the backups. So if things stop working, I can be like, okay, well, that was cool for when I was doing this. It was working for me. It is no longer working. Let me see. What do I have available? And can I cobble together a Franken planner that has things that I have that I can actually see if they will work for me, type of thing. It's why most of the planners I have are actually like the happy planner type things, and I have not really done much except this one. It's basically keeping certain plan things, because I use graph paper all the time. Usually it's larger, but this I can use for like marking off things. But I realized that by the hour starting at 6 a.m. meant I would never use it. Especially since it only goes to 10 p.m. Which meant I basically had to rewrite this stuff. But these pages are great for me. But finding out what works for you, it could change depending on your schedule, which that definitely was one of those things that my schedule kept changing and not working within those hours. So that meant, yeah, honestly, I was just glad that another company did Discbound, because back in the 90s, at a chorus all-state competition, I went to the bookstore at the college campus and they had a journal that was that. But yeah, I totally get that. My way of scheduling is I try to have one thing each day that is like somewhat timed or somewhat scheduled. And I do that at night, knowing that all else fails, I can either postpone the stream or Breeze Chat will have been really chill anyway, so I don't have to moderate, type of thing. So, yeah, it's my primary things that I do are try to make it to the stream or to Breeze, like Embry's stream, and do the job. I treat it as a job that is not that structured, but has a few days that are game focused and a few that are craft focused, and it can basically become very much a chill free-for-all depending on what is going on and how I'm feeling, how chat is, type of thing. So for me, it's like knowing that during the day I could end up like being told, oh yeah, you can't do the stream tonight because you need to drive to another state and pick up relative or something like that. That type of thing is very real possibility, but it's like knowing during the day things can change that will change the schedule. I'm aware of that, so I just I'm like, okay, all else fails, I have this plan for the night. I once had to drive pretty much on an hour's notice about 1,450 some odd miles to pick someone up. So, yes, I went from basically around Miami to middle of the country. So that type of thing, weirdly enough, has happened to me. But yeah, being the relative who has the really weird schedule that is flexible can be a blessing and a curse. In that case, it was actually pretty fun because on the way back, yeah, I know, I see myself as unreliable as well. I mean, like, I can't really plan anything because if I do, it quite often feels like I'm ruining everyone else's plans because they've planned things for me without telling me. But, yeah. I understand the basically feeling totally unreliable. That's why I started doing the streaming on on the first Wednesday of the year. That isn't you being unreliable, that is your brain basically being like, you know what? Can't take this right now, so I need to step out. And that's just part of being human. Our brains kind of have to control quite a lot, and if things are off in our brains for any reason, being like chemical imbalance or like just anxiety levels through the roof, or really any number of things, like potentially even coming down with a cold, you can't predict everything, and it makes making plans difficult. But let's see, you take care of your pets. Do you have a schedule for them in any way? Like, they know, okay, when Mama's up, it is food and cuddles time. Or, okay, hey, that's cool. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure the animals have their own schedules, which that right there gives you a schedule. And then you can see what you can do around that schedule that might bring you some laughter beyond the exquisite cuddles of furry pets. Yep. So that is their schedule. Pretty sure you also are doing like throughout the day or week taking care of like litter box type things and making sure that they have cuddle time and making sure that they have playtime. Yeah, those are also part of your schedule. So that is part of your schedule. For me, after stream, I take care of the litter box of the cat that lives here, and then I basically, if it's late enough, I give her her breakfast, which is after having her play for like 5 minutes with this one toy car that does really random directions and such, spins around and has its own little tail that she can chase. Hey, gives her exercise, and then I'm the one that puts like half a scoop of her breakfast in the ball that she can play with and knock the food in, like out of, into an area she can reach and eat. So it's like very easy. It gives her a little bit of exercise. She usually just ignores the car thing unless it gets to an area where it seems like it's stuck, and then she'll try to get me. But she's started getting close to it and batting at it, so I see progress there. But yeah, part of my schedule after the craft streams is also the, like, either just the garbage or garbage and recycle goes out. So I have to take care of the litter before I do that. And then, let's see, I sometimes, if I know someone's going to be over, I get the coffee machine set up so that, hey, Flick again. Okay, so basically, if they come over and are wanting coffee, then it's just, yeah, basically, prepare the coffee. If they want coffee, machine goes on. Makes it easy. But, yeah. That type of thing is one of those random things that's added to the schedule that makes life for everyone else easier. So it's just one less thing for people to worry about. And since I'm the only one who drinks coffee now in the house, it basically makes sense for me to be the one to just get it ready for whenever we know there's a guest, to, just be able to flick the machine on when coffee is requested, and hey, there's coffee. Because if coffee isn't requested, I can flick it on later, and hey, there's coffee. Yeah. My sister just got into making tea, like chai tea, and the other night she ended up asking me about if I thought a certain number of tea bags was going to be enough for her to make the tea overnight instead of using hot water. And I was like, as long as it's basically the same number that you usually use for when you are... Yeah, she likes tea. She likes it being like really spiced tea. So, spiced tea, and I like a whole bunch of different types of herbal tea, and really, I don't get the weird benefit I get with coffee with tea. My benefit with coffee is focus. My benefit with tea is just hydration. It's irrelevant to me. I don't get hyper. I mean, I can drink a pot of coffee and then sleep for like 16 hours. But, yeah. Cool. I am glad that you have tea that is great for you. I am actually really glad you've got something that can relax you and put you in a better mood. That's great. So, yeah, cool. It has an interesting history. And then there's also the history of the places that it came from. Oh man. Do you have any mugs that you can warm up like in a microwave with water in them? Yeah, that works. I mean, you can even put the tea bag, if you're using a tea bag, in... Yeah, I find them very useful too. Electric kettles rock. But, yeah. You just... I've used loose leaf tea for a few years, but I also grew up with tea in tea bags, and also grew up with extremely sweet iced tea where it was practically syrup with tea added, but that was my very southern bio-dad side of the family, their addiction. And being the one that was very much interested in trying out different teas, I had a tendency to be like, oh, could I try the licorice? Or, there's one with blood orange? Okay, yes, that. Sweet tea was good to have around one of my grandmas because she's hypoglycemic, and that meant she had less likely chance of passing out. But yeah. I understand the dislike for sweet tea. I grew up liking tea and disliking coffee. I grew to enjoy coffee when a coworker decided to go to the Dunkin' Donuts with everyone's order and botched mine with saying instead of a cream frappuccino, I ended up getting a coffee one. But I was willing to give it a chance, and it surprised me, and then I realized that every single time I'd had coffee, like, attempts before, it was sour to me. It was sour tasting. Apparently, for me, weak coffee tastes sour. So I needed to have it a lot stronger than my relatives would make it. Ended up basically the crazy one who can drink black coffee. You can use heavy whipping cream. They also have sugar-free creamers, and there's I found a lot of the regular creamers, if you look at how much it says to put in it and the amount of sugar in that, and you just stay under, it's usually like minuscule amounts of sugar, if any. So it's like, surprisingly, you might manage to have the flavor of a pumpkin frappuccino around Halloween. But yeah, I do understand the diuretic aspect of things. Let's see. So, yeah. Eggnog, yeah. Yeah, I can't have eggnog. Apparently, nutmeg I can't have. I figured out that before I was diabetic, because I was trying every single version of eggnog one year just to see if I could find one that would not make me sick. I even tried like vegan versions of nog, and it was just nope. Well, I found out that I could make my own pumpkin pie spice without eggnog. Not without nutmeg. And doing that meant I could use the other ingredients and make something similar to eggnog. Hey, if it's like your one thing that you try. Anaphylaxis. I was trying to figure out what was making it so I couldn't breathe anytime I had eggnog. So I literally went and spent one entire winter trying to figure out if there was an eggnog that wouldn't give me an allergic reaction where I could not breathe. Yeah. Literally, the only ingredient that was common in every single one was nutmeg. I had ones that didn't have cinnamon. I had ones that didn't have... Yeah. There's... Yeah, there is a common ingredient that's like a preservative that they use in a lot of different foods that I have heard of being like in root beers and such, that someone on a different forum that I've been hanging out on is severely allergic to, so cool. Birch beer is great. I am glad you have that as a fallback. That is, yeah, it is delicious. I totally understand that. But, yeah. I was just, that winter I was convinced I was going to figure out why, like what it was that I was allergic to, and that was at the start of realizing. Yeah. Popcorn's amazing. Plus, it's mostly fiber and whatever you put in as flavorings, so kind of empty calories there. Delicious ones at that. Yeah. Popcorn's amazing. But the realizing I was allergic to nutmeg led to me realizing I was allergic to fish, because I started realizing anytime I had fish and chips, my one of my feet would swell up, and that's an allergic reaction to fish. It's a common one. And then I started having the not being able to breathe reaction with shellfish. And it was like, okay, yeah. Fish is forever off the menu. Then, let's see. I already knew about smoke being something I couldn't be around. I did not realize that there was a difference between cigarette smoke and weed smoke. And that is, weed smoke, my throat closes up like within a minute. And yeah, I cannot be around weed. That sucks, because there are so many places where it is everywhere, including college campuses and such. I knew I was severely allergic to smoke back in the 90s, when I was singing in bars. And people could still smoke in bars. Yeah. But, thankfully I'm not allergic to that many tree nuts, just nutmeg. Then I found out that I was allergic to pork, which weirdly enough is related to my allergy to cats. And, well, that was like, okay, I'm going to go vegetarian for a while. And I did that. for a while, I started doing sourdough bread and enjoying that, and this was pre-pandemic. I don't think you're allergic to happiness. Maybe you've just been finding things that are not quite your scene. I mean, you're happy around animals, right? Maybe animals are part of your happiness. And they probably do the same right back. It's just like cats booping you on the leg with their head and like rubbing up against you. It's their way of hugging, it's their affection. So you are showing them affection in kind. Hold on. I set this to the other thing and it didn't